Welcome back. Well, amateur sports are now in year 2 of the NIL era. So last summer, a law related to name, image, and likeness went into effect across college sports and erased the idea that student athletes could not receive financial compensation as a result of their talent or celebrity. Men's basketball and football claim the throne for the number of deals and average compensation. The largest NIL deal to date is $9.5 million. Here to tell us more about what's next for college sports after a radical year of change is Jim. Oh, I hope I'm saying your last name right. Cavale, can you help me there?
It's close, Cavale, but thank you for having me.
I can't tell you all of the Zuves, Zuvi, Zoovs for my own last name. I really apologize. Thank you for your help.
No worries.
You are the founder and CEO of INFLCR, a student-athlete NIL network that actually is used to help players connect with brands to make money. So you know a thing or two about this. You know, after year 1 of this radical change, what is the most common way college athletes are making money in this NIL era?
You know, I think the most common way is the easiest and most efficient way, and that's through their social media, right? Athletes have very limited time at the college level compared to their pro counterparts. Pro athletes don't have class to go to. Pro athletes don't have time management rules limiting how much time they can spend on their sport. College athletes have those things, plus they don't have the assistance of an agent in most cases, and none of them have a players association, which pro athletes all have both of those resources. So the easiest way for a student athlete to really monetize their name, image, and likeness is on social media. You can endorse brands, you can engage with fans, and you get paid for it. And this past year, we saw more than 60% of our student athlete transactions for NIL happen on social.
Well, and student athletes are getting more involved in making money. They're advocating for a bigger piece of the massive pie that they've helped create. But they will almost certainly make several pit stops in court in the years to come, right? So what message is the Supreme Court sending to the NCAA?
Well, there's been multiple messages really over the past decade that have been sent by the Supreme Court to the NCAA. You look at the O'Bannon case, Ed O'Bannon, who won a Final Four at UCLA in March Madness in the early 90s, fell out of the NBA. And when he was working at a used car dealership in Las Vegas, he realized that he went home to his boss's house and was playing a video game with his likeness in it. He's like, wait a second. This is not right. And so he sued the NCAA, and a little less than a decade later won. And that was really the beginning of the dominoes. More recently, the Alston case, which had to do with educated related benefits, was a unanimous 9-0 decision by the Supreme Court against the NCAA, which now allows schools to provide educated related benefits, even in the form of checks, up to $3,000 a semester to student athletes when they perform well in the classroom. And House versus NCAA right now could have a lot to do with whether or not student athletes are deemed employees. But what I find interesting is, really NIL, along with all the perks that student athletes get in the current student athlete experience, the transfer portal, which allows them to really be a free agent every year and test the waters in the market to see which school is best for them. These things like educated related benefits, this is the greatest time we've ever had for student athletes. And if they become employees, I fear they may take on a bunch of expenses that right now are perks, things like tuition, free unlimited pairs of gear and sneakers, and a lot of other things that they may end up footing the bill for if they become employees.
Interesting. Well, 2 separate revenue streams are emerging in college sports since the Supreme Court passed the new NIL legislation. One allows athletes to cash in on their fame, and the other allows athletes to cash in more directly on their athletic ability. What other changes should universities and student athletes expect?
Well, I think, right now, with NIL being so new, there's a lot of question around how much of a student athlete's NIL revenue is tied to their performance and the spot they have on their team versus the traditional name, image, and likeness type deals that have to do with brand value and the exchange a brand gets from working with an athlete. It's going to be interesting to see how regulatory uniformity develops. Right now, every school has their own NIL rules, and one of the hottest topics is how NIL is being used for what could be deemed recruiting inducements, which is against the NCAA's waiver of the NIL bylaw that used to exist and limit the student athlete's NIL from being exercised. The one thing you can't do, the NCAA says, is you can't use NIL to entice a prospective student athlete, whether they're a transfer high school student athlete, to come to your school. And so I think you're going to see some real regulations arise around that, whether it's conference-wide regulations, whether we see a federal law, which I think still is a few years away. And then the other side of it is media revenue sharing, employee status, which I just mentioned, which are all things that are on the table right now too, and will be really a part of the future of college athletics to one extent or another.
All right, Jim Cavale, thank you so much for your time. Thanks for breaking it down. Appreciate it.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.